the next conversation is going to be the most important conversation of the day, which is different styles of asserting yourself to people. So let's write down these styles and I'll explain to them one by one. The first style in assertive communication, the first style is known as the style of facts, the black and white style of facts. The black and white style of facts. Facts and figures. The black and white style of facts and figures. Now, what does it mean by the black and white style of facts and figures? Can somebody give me a little clue here? Yes? Okay. It should be on papers. Okay, now you would use this style with what kind of a person? Senior. Someone who is senior, and basically of what communication style? Yes. Possibly aggressive. Basically, it may be a junior or a senior person, mostly senior, but a person who is very aggressive. Do you know why they are very aggressive?
They are different.
Not only past experience, there's something more. Defending themselves, what else? They doubt you. Okay, something else?
They change their mind. They can have some evidence.
If you have observed most aggressive people, I'm sorry to cut you there. If you have observed most aggressive people in the world are very good at their facts. Yes or no? It is very difficult to deny what they are saying. What they are saying is not wrong. The way they are saying is wrong. But are they right in what they are saying? Yes or no? That is why it is difficult to argue with them. If you ever want to deal with aggressive people and you want to assert to them, and especially that comes in the senior categories, the best way to deal with these people is what? Yes, you have facts in your hand and you have evidence in your hand. Do you remember that movie? The only thing that convinced this man was what? Facts and figures. Is that right? When he showed him the facts and figures of how a lease deal can be helpful, that man was suddenly convinced. But otherwise, all the theory of that the market condition is right now very high, we need more parts, all that theory didn't matter to him. What mattered to him was the facts and figures. Not only because he was an accounts guy, but also because he was a very aggressive person. Is that right? Now this style, see, every new style that I'm teaching you today right now, every style will force you towards a good habit. Okay, for an example, this particular style. What style is this? Read it again. The black and white style of facts and figures. Now this particular style will force you towards what good habit? Planning and preparation. So write that down. Planning and preparation. Is that important, by the way? A lot of times when we want to assert ourselves to people, do we go planned and prepared mostly? No, we don't. Use this style. Go well planned, go well prepared. And if you have your facts in hands, if you have your figures in your hands, I'm promising you no aggressive person will try to dominate you. What is the reason behind why I'm saying this so confidently? Why am I saying this so confidently that if you have your facts in hands, nobody can dominate you? Why am I saying that? And so what? Okay, what else? Why is that?
If suppose I'll ask you, how can you prove it? You have facts.
Evidence is undeniable. Evidence is undeniable. Nobody can deny evidence. Can you deny evidence? Hello? You know, that is why in the courts, the high courts or the Supreme Courts where they do cases, in those courts, it is completely based on what? Evidence. Now, sometimes the evidence is wrong. But can they deny it? Even though the evidence is wrong, you have to prove it, that it is wrong or right. If somebody has proved that the evidence is right, now you can't do anything about it. You can't deny the facts. You can't deny the evidence. If you use the same style with the boss, or with the senior, or with the junior, or with the customer, they will not be able to deny it, I promise you that. Because evidence has its own strength. You don't need any strength after that. Okay, all you have to do is once your evidence is in your hands, do you need to use anger? You don't. So you don't even need to get aggressive. All you have to do is be polite, be respectful, and put your facts in front of them. That's exactly what that guy did in the end of the video. Is that right? And he got his way. Alright? It's very difficult. It is very, very difficult to deny evidence. The reason I say so is because then it becomes a hypothetical conversation. If it's black and white, then how can you deny?
Say you are basing a decision on some evidence that he is saying that it's not substantial.
For an example, you're saying that you had told me that you would give me a leave on Friday. I have evidence you had told me that, and now you're saying you will not give me that leave. The person says, no, I did not say I'll give you that leave. Right? That's an example. Well, you don't have a written mail, do you? So your lack of what?
Evidence.
Whenever a person is denying and they say there is no substantial evidence, which really means there is no substantial evidence. Bring in more evidence. Instead of fighting about why this evidence is not enough, bring in more evidence. That's what people do in the court. They don't fight about why this evidence is not enough. They immediately go, they get more evidence and they prove the case. What I would rather do is, instead of arguing and putting my energy with this man, I would go back to my Outlook, I would find that mail, I'd take a printout, come back and say, this is the mail. Now do you think he can deny it? Very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. Now, if instead of showing this, if that person is denying, you're talking to a criminal. You had it. I sympathize with you in that case. But in a professional environment, do we find people like these? Honestly, not. Everybody understands facts. Okay, so use this style. It's one of the most powerful styles in assertiveness. Okay, let's go to the second style now. The second style is an extremely powerful style. It's known as the clear directional questioning style. The clear directional questioning style. Clear directional questioning style. Now there are two kinds of questions in the world. What are the two kinds of questions in the world? Open-ended and what is a close-ended question? Give me an example. So give me an example. What's your name? Is it right or is it wrong? Now that can be a close-ended question. Okay. Is it your left hand or is it your right hand? That's a close-ended question. What is an open-ended question? Give me an example. How do you feel good? That's a close-ended. Depends. When you say open-ended, you want to be guaranteed it's an open-ended. If by the other person's perspective it's a close-ended question, then you can direct the conversation into a completely new direction. Uncontrollable. So you want to be very clear, your question is leading that person into what direction. That's the whole point. Now, but if I ask you, so do you think the workshop is adding value? And if it is, how? I've got two combination questions here. Do you think the workshop is adding value? What is that? Close-ended question. And how? Now, there the person will have to give you a justification of how does he say that it's a good workshop or a bad workshop. Yes or no? Now, there the person will have to think. Anywhere you're making a person think and you're guaranteed the person will give a justification for your question, yes, now you got him into an open-ended question. Are we clear so far? Now, let's say the boss comes to you in the evening where it's about 6 o'clock right now, 6 p.m. Now, you're about to leave home. What's a typical condition that happens in the evening? Yes, you all know that, don't you? So he comes here and he says, my friend, you are the most important employee in Amdocs. You know that? And you're like, oh, some more work coming looks like. And that's exactly what happens, doesn't it? He comes and he says, there's this important mail come from the client, or not even important, what does he say? Urgent mail. And priority, right? So we've got this mail and we'll have to operate this work on this right now. So you'll have to stay back about an hour and a half later. Now, you know, it's not normally hour and a half. It can really go 2 to 3 hours. Is that right? So you don't want to stay back. And plus, that person, let's say, comes to you at 5:30 in the evening and you've already got work in your hands, which is not going to finish by 6:30. And you have an appointment with somebody at 7 in your personal family life about something. Okay? Now, should you say yes or should you say no? Hello?
No.
How would you decide that? Because you already have a commitment. Is that enough to say or no? Think about it. And how would you decide that? Because if you ask yourself, you'll say, my friend is more important, who's waiting for me. Right? It's always easy to think like that. So then how would you decide that? Yes, exactly. Would you please give this man a good hand for that, please? Thank you very much. His answer is that you have to decide the cost.